Stretching is so important. Alright, so this first stretch, I start off with my feet shoulder width apart or more, and then I just lean to one side and keep going down. The key thing you want to do is keep your feet kind of flat on the ground best you can, and only bend one knee. Now, what I like to do, if you notice, my hands are close to my knees. My hands are actually supporting all the weight of my body for the most part. That way my legs can relax. That is going to be the key thing to all your stretching, is you got to relax, right? And so I have my hands here. They're doing all the work for me. They're holding me up. My legs are relaxing so that they can get more of the stretch. And I do this on both sides. Now, this stretch is similar to one before, and it's actually for a set technique that I have that you find in a lot of different things. So it's actually pretty important. It's just getting the leg muscles in a slightly different way that is very beneficial to some of the techniques that I train. But you want to keep your support, well, your knee that is up, you want to keep that foot flat best you can. That's how you get the stretch. The other one is straight out, and you want to have the toes curled up. I got to be more in frame when I do this. So you want to have the toes up, you want to have it locked down, and have that foot flat on the ground. That's the hard part. That's the stretch of it all. And so I tend to start on my butt, extend my leg, plant my foot, and then hand behind me and push myself off the ground to try to get that stretch. And you're going to feel it in one of the two legs wherever you really need it the most. It's a good stretch. This is a basic butterfly stretch. Just put my feet together, pull them in. I'm going to lean forward, relax my legs, stretch in the groin. Now I have my feet out. I try to have them out as far as I can, and I'm also leaning forward, bending at the waist. That's kind of the theme here. I'm still relaxing. I'm going to have my toes up. That's a big deal. It's gonna, if you have them out here, it's going to change the angle, right? I have them toes up, and that's going to be a little bit more difficult, which allows me to get more of a stretch. That's what I want. I want a nice, good stretch. I'm just leaning forward, and if you can get your arms to the ground like I can, it's perfectly okay. That took me 16 years to get my forearms to the ground, and that's kind of where I stopped. But you can either go forward or have your legs go out even wider. It depends on the body type. Now I have my legs together, and this is like the classic stretch people do standing up. I like to be on the ground, and I have my toes curled back to me. I'm grabbing my feet, and really it's just a matter of bending at the waist to get that stretch. It's not just the legs, but the ability to bend at the waist, and grabbing your toes and grabbing your feet. That's kind of a result of being able to do this and really getting like the hamstrings. But again, I'm bending at the waist, leaning forward, and relaxing to grab those toes. This is an alternate version of that, where instead of using both legs, I'm using just one. And typically, if you are really struggling with getting both, then if you get one, that's good. If you come across, that gets more of a stretch. If I turn, it's going to get more of my back. Right? Lower my head, it's going to get more, and kind of smell my armpit, and it becomes more of a multi-stretch, man. It gets so many different muscles with it. It's great, but there's different stages as far as where you're at. You know, I can do the same side, and then I can go across. Again, it gets me turned. I can really lean into it and lean over, come here, and get more to the side, and do that on both sides. Good stuff. But like I said, multi-stretch, I'm getting multiple muscles, one stretch, very efficient. I like it. Quad stretch. A lot of people do this standing up, and that is perfectly fine. Okay, I like to do this on the ground. Takes away the balance aspect of it all. Allows me to get more of a stretch. Like I said, you're going to be relaxing into these things. Now, I'm not pulling my leg behind me so much as I'm holding in place and really arching my back, and I'm trying to push my hips and my belly button forward as much as I can, and that's going to get a nice stretch on my thigh. But it's also like I can feel it in my abs too if I've just worked out my abs. It's a really good stretch, but like I said, I tend to be on the ground just to take that extra variable out of the equation and just focus on isolating just that leg, pulling it back, and I get it on both sides. So this particular stretch is what I refer to as the weird pretzel stretch. Okay, you found out later on it's actually called like the reverse pigeon. So if you go to like the rest of YouTube's, after you finish watching my video, you can look up what an actual pigeon toe stretch is. And this stretch is, I believe, more for the people who are not as flexible, because pigeon toe is kind of hard. But this is good when you're going to have the ankle on top of the knee. You're going to reach through your legs and just pull the back of your knee to your chest. And that's going to stretch your IT band, a couple other good stuff, and your glutes. And the reason why I call it a weird pretzel stretch is because I have my kids do it in my kids' class. And I don't want to tell them what a glute is because, you know, they're like, hey, what's a glute? I'm like, well, it's a butt. It's your butt. And it will be forever known as the butt stretch. So to prevent that mnemonic, I'm going to call it the weird pretzel stretch because you're like, weird, and in a pretzel, and stuff like that. And the kids, they like it. But really, you know, it's a butt stretch. Stretching your butt. It's really good for you. But if, like, again, I renamed it that way to prevent the giggle because, you know, I'm not going to tell my kids to not have fun in my class. I want them to enjoy what they're doing. But once that giggle stops, man, it doesn't stop. It's just... it keeps going and going and going, and so I'm like, let's literally nip this in the butt before that happens and call it the weird pretzel stretch. Alright, the last one that I really like, a lot of people really like it, is called the old man stretch. I learned it as the old man stretch. It can go by several different names. Some places call it the geriatric stretch. Some people will call it the life alert stretch, or the get off my lawn stretch, or I've fallen and I can't get up stretch. All these kind of stretches, either which way, they're all the same. Body's all doing the same thing. You're going to bring your leg over, keep the shoulders to the ground. This is going to get kind of the muscles in your back and your spine. Really cool. You can also like go to sleep and take a nap in that stretch. People have tried to do that after, because like this is the thing that I end most of my workouts with, is like, hey, we're going to do this awesome stretch. And I think one of the main reasons why it's called the old man stretch is like 9 times out of 10, whenever someone goes into it, they're like, oh man, right? So just bringing the leg over, and the thing is like where you place your hand as far as when you bring your leg over, it will determine the muscles and the stress that you put on in your back. And so like I like to have like this. I think some places call it a cactus position, right? And you can also bring your leg even higher up as you bring it over. So you're bringing it closer towards your head, and that will also change the dynamics of what is being focused on and what's being stretched. None of it is bad, right? You're still getting your spine and stuff. So it's pretty good. Old man stretch. Get off my lawn stretch. I'm Seafood Mike. This is Tactical Kung Fu Mixed Martial Arts, TKF MMA. On me on YouTube, of course, that's what this is. Also Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, a bunch of social medias. You can find me on Google, tkfmma.com. My website, learn all about me in this place. Okay, all TKF MMA. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, which I think is over there or somewhere. Finger gun. Bam, 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 bam. And again, I'm Seafood Mike. Hope you guys have a good day. Hope you learn something. And yeah, man, take it easy. Be good to each other.